food travelers. In this episode, we are headed to a all-you-can-eat Japanese barbecue spot called Niku Feast. Micah, this is a really great gem that we found in a spot that I was really surprised to see when we actually went to the restaurant to go look for it, where it was located. And as you can see from the beginning of the video, it was actually located inside of a supermarket.
Yeah, Simon, and for the hours of operation, they're open from Mondays to Friday from 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. with Fridays until 9:30 p.m. For the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, they are open at 11:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and it's $34.95 a person. And they do have a more premium upgrade that you can add for additional $5 a person.
Yeah, and to kind of add on to some of the information here, Niku Feast is located in Shoreline, which is about, I'd say, 10 to 20 minutes, depending on traffic, drive north of Seattle. It's actually right there, bordering Seattle as it is, so it kind of depends, but from downtown Seattle, that's about the distance it is.
Yeah, and as you see in the video, there is a small salad kind of location there where you can grab some of your salads, your rice. They have some seasoning and soup as well, and there's quite a bit of choices with this one. I feel like the options that are available is pretty satisfying.
Yeah, and kind of piggying back on the menu items you said, I definitely think the extra $5 for the kind of a premium meats package, which includes Wagyu beef and some other items that are pretty tasty, is definitely worth it. As we kind of went through, and you'll see as we barbecue all the different meats, like having the premium meats and then kind of jumping back to getting some of your normal beef steaks that are just, they're good, but they're not as great as the premium meats. And so just going backwards after you have some really good ones, it just that flavor and the profile and the texture is not as great. And so I always found myself, especially for the Wagyu beef cubes, going back to those and wanting to eat more of that.
Yeah, Simon, and another thing I did want to mention is, so on the menu they do it's a QR code that you scan on your phone, so you can keep ordering more food, and the servers will bring it to your table for the meat. It's not something that you have to go pick up on your own. I felt like the appetizers were still pretty good. I mean, there was the corn cheese, there's takoyaki, there's cold tofu, and many other options as well. And like Simon said, going with the more premium meats, there's definitely more flavors to it. I really enjoyed this one. I felt like you really get a lot for what you're paying for here. Oftentimes when we go to Korean barbecue, even for all the meats that we're ordering, I feel like for the price, we're paying a lot more. There is another thing I did want to mention is we do recommend making a reservation for this restaurant. It does get pretty busy as we were eating here. We saw a lot of people just waiting at the front of the restaurant. Another thing I wanted to mention was there's a 90-minute seating limit for how long you can eat there.
Yeah, there is that 90-minute limit. So it's enough time, but definitely if you're kind of slow on going through things, you might get things a little slower, because it does, as Micah mentioned, pick up quite fast, because we were actually the first people in the door. They opened at 5 p.m. for their dinner service, and when we went in, of course, it was empty. And as you saw earlier in our interior shots, there was kind of nobody there at that time, but as the time passed and things picked up, it definitely got full, and there were a lot of people, and pretty much every seat in the house was filled.
Yeah, so some of the other meats that we got, as you see in the video, is we did get duck breast as well. That is something I'm starting to see a little bit more of as availability here, and that's something I really did enjoy. Simon also mentioned we had a lot of those Wagyu cubes. That's definitely really tasty there. We kind of felt like getting the ribeye steak or even the New York steak wasn't as great of a deal. They weren't as tender, I would say, as some of those other items that we had.
Just to kind of clarify, I guess, at least from my point of view, they're still good, But the thing is when you have the premium meats, which are better, it just kind of feels like you're jumping back. So you just didn't get that same pow from each bite that you had that you did if you didn't get the premium meats. So you still wouldn't be disappointed if you didn't get the premium meats, because you wouldn't have had that comparison. But because we did get the premium meats, it's just like as you take that first bite into the Wagyu, but then you jump back into the other steaks, it just wasn't as great as you would want it to be.
And like many other Japanese grill or Korean restaurants we went to, they do come by pretty frequently here to change the grill. So as they're cooking the meats, it's going to get more charcoal on there. So having that new grill is definitely a plus. Another thing I wanted to mention is the beef tongue root. As you see in the video, it is. I think from what I remember in the menu, they did state that you can only get one per order.
And for me, I've had beef tongue before, and I do enjoy it. This was actually pretty good. I really liked that you get the larger chunk, and that, as you can see, they scored it. So as you grilled it, you get this nice crispy texture outside as it's charring. And it actually made the texture really nice that they had that score, because you get that char kind of all over. But it was very nice and tender for beef tongue. It was great.
And I really did appreciate how a lot of the items that we ordered, some of them it will tell you what kind of seasoning they're using. So for some, they use like teriyaki sauce. For some of them, they're already seasoned with salt and pepper. And there's also, as you saw in the video earlier, they also have salt and pepper on the side, so that is something you can add more of if that's what's your preference.
Yeah, and they kind of piggyback on that. The sauces are over where all the greens are, so you can actually go get some sauces over there. You do have to get them yourself, so the server won't drop off any sauces for you. They have their little bowls that you can grab over there, and anything from like a sweet soy sauce or a soy sauce, sesame mixture, kind of how you want it. So a little bit of that buffet-ish style, but the sauces were really delicious. I enjoyed the sesame sauce. That's something I ended up using quite often when dipping the meats into.
Yeah, and also I really did enjoy this type of grilling with the pork belly. I thought the pork belly was pretty good, and being able to, I guess, grill it in this fashion, we got to pretty crispy. As you see the video, the flames were going off like crazy.
Yeah, just a little bit mishap here on the barbecue. As you can see, the pork belly there has a good amount of fat. So as you saw, as we put them down, and the fat actually ended up rendering down and hitting the grill down below, and of course that combination creates a nice big fire, and we actually had a big fire as we were grilling the pork belly. But it was still really good, even though it had that little extra char that usually you try not too much to get, but in this case it tasted really good. I was happy with it still.
Yeah, and also they do have soft serve ice cream. I wouldn't say the soft serve ice cream is as soft as you would get from hot pot restaurants, but it's still pretty good for what they have here. I feel like it could be a little bit more solid.
Yeah, and since it's all you can eat, so if you are huge on soft serve and you just can't get enough of it, at least you can come back and get as much as you want. But yeah, I agree. It's a little bit, to me, kind of more of a grainy thing. But overall, this is a really great Japanese barbecue, and I would definitely come back again. To wrap up this episode is our notables for Niku Feast Japanese Barbecue. The Wagyu beef cube was an absolutely delicious treat. Part of the premium option add-on for the meal, the cubes were nicely marbled, and when grilled on each side creates a wonderful bite of Wagyu beef. Niku is a hidden gem, especially for that price that they offer this for. It offers a great deal that for all you can eat Japanese barbecue.
And to support our channel, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for the YouTube algorithm. And for more photos, follow us on Instagram. See you guys on the next episode.